Hi everyone, back with another video in the series on Jerry's Jiu-Jitsu principles. This is the fourth and last rule of Underhook. This is the last rule that I sort of added in when developing this system, and it's called the shoulder principle. And I guess it's sort of a play on words. Obviously, when you're using your arm moving around, there's a shoulder involved. But I'm also thinking about it in terms of the shoulder on a road or a freeway, where, you know, when you're driving in your car, if you get onto the shoulder and start to go off into a separate road, at a certain point, you're at the point of no return. You can't get back to the original direction you're going. So a shoulder defines the direction that you can take and prevents it to change in direction. And so we can use our underhook to do that. So I'm going to show this in terms of defending side control with an underhook, in that my opponent, like Callum, will be trying to push me flat down onto the ground. But by using my underhook and extending my arm, I can change the direction that Callum can push. So you can no longer push directly at me, you can only push the direction that I choose. And I can set that up to be a position that is advantageous to me. So I'll jump on my back, Callum will jump in side control, and we'll go through that a little bit, through the shoulder principle. So, you know, once again, Callum is controlling me on the ground. He's got me flat on my back. He's got what he wants. He's got his crossface. He's got his underhook here. And, you know, if he wants the underhook, I don't want him to have it. It's a really important thing to always think about. And looking at the directions of our bodies, our spines are sort of perpendicular to each other. So the force that Callum can best apply is from his hips to his head. So I can try to push him off, but he can push back into me. And he's quite strong in that way. And the best force that I can apply at this position is straight away from my chest, try to push up, and Callum can easily counter that by pushing forward and pushing across it. So I really don't have much capacity to do anything physically here. So I want to be able to change the direction that Callum's pushing. And if I know that the power Callum can apply goes from his hips to his head, so in a straight line, hips up to his head, I'm going to try to change what that line is. So I'll get my underhook. I'm going to do a little bridge, I'm going to drop through and get my underhook. Now, if I can extend my underhook, now Callum tries to push me flat on the ground. It's a little bit more difficult because the direction of my underhook is changing the direction that Callum can move in. All we've got to do now, Callum can fight as much as he wants. I can keep turning. I can go to third date, fourth date. I can get up and finish a reversal. So what's important in this particular concept is that until I get up, I'm in a vulnerable and weak position. The shoulder principle gives me the capacity to protect myself until I'm able to get into a strong position again. So if we go through this now in a moment in a more continuous motion, more like real time, if I start to get up, the first thing Callum's going to try to do is put me back on the ground flat. But using that direction of my underhook, what I can do is drive Callum's weight off me, and that's really what I'm after here. So I'll bridge up and I'll get started on this. Once I'm starting to move, Callum's going to try and put me back on the ground, but I will have the ability to change his direction. Part of this principle that's important is the shape of our arm, because one thing that a lot of people do wrong when they're starting out and they're a bit uncomfortable on the ground or they're panicking is they tend to get an underhook and they'll tend to hold their opponent on them, squeeze them down. And part of the shoulder principle is about putting my arm in a position which keeps that from occurring. Now, the thing about it, if I want to pull something close to me with my arm, I'm largely doing that with a bicep action. And if I want to push something away, I'm largely doing that with a tricep action. Now, I don't want to push away with strength, and I certainly don't want to pull onto my body. Now, what you'll find, you can play with this at home a bit, is if you put your hand onto your fingers onto your bicep muscle and then turn your palm towards you, even if you're not contracting your bicep, you will feel activation there. And that activation will send a signal to your mind to contract. So often by turning your palm in, you're actually tricking yourself into pulling and holding the person on top. Similarly, if I turn my palm away, the same happens with my tricep. That engages and tells me to push. So what I try to do is I try to turn my hand the neutral, which is thumb towards my opponent's back. That way it's the neutral between bicep and tricep contraction, so I don't get either. Now when I do this technique in a moment, we'll do it again, you'll be able to see what happens if I'm pulling my hand down and holding column on. It's hard to move. But by turning my thumb towards me, pinky away, it gives me the greatest directional movement of my arm without trapping my body down. So if I've got my underhook here, but my palm's down, Callum's trying to hold me and I'm trying to stop him, I'm actually holding him on me. And not only have I got his weight to deal with, I'm also holding him down. But now if he holds down hard and tight on me now, but now I turn my finger out, you can already feel, just again, the change in Callum's direction. From here I can continue my shoulder principle to move, get up, and finish my takedown. So to highlight that, the shoulder principle is about changing the direction that my opponent is driving their energy and preventing them from coming back at me. And the real key to making it work is subtle, but it's about turning my arm so that my pinky finger points away from my opponent's back and my thumb points towards. Palm in will make me pull, palm away will make me push, and I want to be in the middle. That's a really subtle thing, but it's important. So, that's the 4 rules of underhook we've covered in these last few videos. First rule, follow your underhook. Second rule is the 4 dates. First date, second date, third date, fourth date. Third rule is the grab your gun principle. And the 4th rule there is the shoulder principle. Thanks very much.